Let's take a look at equal groups word problems with fractional rates. These tend to be a really challenging class of word problems for upper elementary and middle school students and even beyond. Here's a sample problem. A gas tank fills at a rate of 2/3 gallons per minute. How long will it take to fill a 12-gallon tank? One way to visualize this is to set up a double number line with the information from the unit rate in the word problem. So in this unit rate, we have gallons per minute, and therefore we're going to set up 2/3 gallons every 1 minute. Now we can use some proportional reasoning to work our way across to the target of 12 gallons. We can double the number of minutes, which then allows us to double the number of gallons. We can triple the number of minutes, and that means we can triple the number of gallons. And when we do triple that number of gallons, we get 6/3 gallons, which is 2. So now I can just use some more proportional reasoning to multiply 2 times 6 to get my target of 12 gallons, and that means that I'm going to go also multiply the 3 minutes times 6 to get 18 minutes. Another visual that can be helpful is this factor product grid that looks a lot like a part whole grid, and it allows us to think about the two factors being multiplied to get the product, or the total being divided by one of the factors to get the other, or vice versa. So from this word problem, we know that we have 12 gallons total, and the other piece of information that we know we have is this unit rate of 2/3 gallons per minute. And another way of writing that is to actually show the 2/3 gallon per 1 minute. What we don't know in this problem is the number of equal parts. And so at this point we could set up a multiplication problem with an unknown factor. An unknown number of minutes times the unit rate of 2/3 gallons per 1 minute is going to give us the 12 gallons. Another way to think about this problem, though, is to think of it as division. 12 gallons divided by the factor of 2/3 gallons per 1 minute is going to give us the other unknown factor of how many minutes. If we start with all three quantities from the factor product grid in place, we can see that we can really get three different word problems. We can get the word problem that we were just working on that involves the division of the total by the unit rate. We can also look at the other division problem. A 12-gallon gas tank fills in 18 minutes. At what rate does it fill? This then is starting with the total of 12 gallons and dividing by the number of equal parts, in this case the 18 minutes, to get the unknown unit rate. So in this case we would have not known the unit rate, but we would have known the total and the number of equal parts. The third word problem that we could get out of these three quantities is the multiplication, where we know both the number of equal parts and the unit rate, and in that case we get this word problem of a gas tank fills at a rate of 2/3 gallons per minute. If it takes 18 minutes to fill, how large is the gas tank? 18 times 2/3 equals how many gallons? This is a good exercise to do with students, where you give them all three word problems and let them untangle which ones are multiplication and which ones are partitive division and which ones are measurement division. You can also give them the factor product grid and let them then write the three word problems. As you're working on these fractional unit rate word problems, it might be helpful to go back and look with students at some of the earlier kinds of multiplication problems they have worked with, where they've been using a unit rate, they just might not have realized it. In this word problem, Lee has 8 packs of gum with 5 sticks of gum in each pack, there's the unit rate. It was a whole number unit rate, and the students probably were very comfortable thinking about 8 times 5 equals 40. What they maybe didn't realize is what they were really doing was 8 packs times 5 sticks of gum per pack equals 40 sticks. So when you think about dividing those, you either get 40 sticks divided by 8 packs gives you this unit rate, or 40 sticks divided by the unit rate is going to wind up giving you the number of equal parts. One last thought. As you're helping students unpack word problems to help them understand which pieces of information they have and what they're looking for, it might be really helpful to have them be looking at a factor-factor product grid and using even some color coding to identify what information they have. So in this problem, Dan can read 3/4 of a page every minute. That what we've got here is the unit rate, the size of 1 unit rate. So we know that information. And we also know that he's going to read a total of 24 pages. And so what we don't know is how many minutes will it take him to read. And that is the number of equal parts. So that's going to be our question. So hopefully with this tool, students will be able to look at the structure of the word problems and figure out whether they have both factors and they're looking for the product, or whether they have the total and one of the factors and they're looking for the other unknown factor. That's a much more helpful method than trying to use clue words in these kinds of word problems. Thanks.